I didn't say.
When I was saying, like, when I looked at the message with Sodom and Gomorrah's wife, she looked back is because she was kind of like content. She was happy with what was going on, so she really wanted to go back. But
well, true. And one thing I didn't mention today, what the Lord didn't allow me to mention, because we was pressing forward, looking at the higher call and pressing forward, you know, not looking back at our previous situations, not looking back at our past circumstances, and not allowing other people to pull us back in our past circumstances. But another thing that we got to look at it in this perspective, in this way, reason why the Lord didn't want them to look back, because he didn't want them to look back on what he was about to do. See, a lot of the times we want, like Lot's wife, she wanted to look back because I made it out, but I wanted to look at other people's pain. I want to look at other people's frustration. I want to look at other people's sorrow, because I want to see their suffering. And we should never look down upon or back upon somebody else suffering when we've made it out of a situation. So the Lord was telling them, don't look back, because what I'm about to do, you don't need to see the suffering of these people. You don't need to see the death of these people. You need to just keep going and be happy that I delivered you. But once again, we as a society, we as people, we want to look back on other people's suffering. We want to look back at other people's struggles and pick on their suffering and pick on their problems. So not looking back is a sign of the Lord saying too, just because you got out don't mean you've made it over. Just because you got through don't mean the struggle is over. So when I've gotten you through the storm, why are you looking back and laughing at other people that hadn't made it through the storm yet? Why are you looking back picking at people that were just in the same situation that you were in? You know, just because I got you out of your drug addiction, why are you picking at somebody else in a drug addiction? Because I got you out of your abusive marriage, why are you picking at somebody else in their abusive marriage? Keep going forward, because you're not too far removed from that. And truthfully, easily, if you keep looking back at that, you're going to end back up in that situation. So a lot of us are turned into a pillar of salt. And look at that salt for a minute. Remember, salt is something that is used for seasoning. It is something that is used to add flavor and to add taste. But remember, Jesus said, if the salt has lost its taste, what use is it? So why a pillar of salt? Why would the Lord turn her into a pillar of salt? Something that was at that time was a hot commodity. Some at that time was something that when it's used in households of people with stature, people with power. Why turn her into a pillar of salt? Because even when you're plotting on somebody else's demise, even when you think you've got over and you haven't, the Lord is still going to use you to help salt somebody else. The Lord is still going to use you to help add flavor to somebody else. Watch this. If she wouldn't have looked back, right, what would we be talking about her now? The reason why we talk about Lot's wife is because she looked back. The Lord used her inability to follow instruction and her inability to realize that she doesn't need to look at the demise of others, right? Could it have been that she was so caught up on her own self-pride, that she was so proud to be over, that she just wanted to look back on somebody else's demise? Some of us are so proud of what we have that we're feasting on other people's demise. Some of us are so caught up on material things that we're feasting on other people's demise and what they don't have, and realize sooner or later that the Lord is going to use us as a building block for somebody else. Turning in a pillar of salt so somebody else can use that saltiness to help bring them forward. To use her inability not to do right and hopes to help us do right. So yes, that the sermon that we preached today, keep your eye on the prize, was one of that, keeping your eye on the prize. But we also, if we look at it in another way, and another sermon that we can preach from that, is we can't be too caught up on looking back on other people's struggles, on other people's pain, that we don't move forward in our actions. So don't look back of our past situations and our past struggles. But just because you made it, don't take joy in looking back at somebody else, or I ain't gonna say looking back. Don't take joy in somebody else's struggles. Because truth be told, it wasn't because of you getting out. It was because the Lord got you out. Any other?
Yeah, that's just like you were saying about like the dead buzzard feasting on.
Yeah, there was a truck driver, and I heard this on Facebook or YouTube or somewhere, but it was a truck driver says he was driving, he saw buzzards out eating a carcass, and as he got closer, the buzzards wouldn't move. All the buzzards flew off except for one that hit his windshield. And he said in that moment, the Lord revealed to him, while we are feasting on somebody else's demise, it could be leading to ours. So while she was feasting, trying to feast on somebody else's demise, it led to hers. So once again, we got to keep looking forward. We got to keep them blinders on and keep realizing that in this race that we're running, that if we look back, it's going to slow us down. If you look at racers, if you look at NASCAR, well, let me do, because NASCAR, even with NASCARs, they got the rear view mirror so they can look behind them, but a lot of the times it's the person in their ear telling them, be careful, you got a car coming up on your left or right, and they'll glance back. But let's look at a race. Let's look at somebody that's sprinting. If they look back, they slow down. If they look around, they slow down. So you keep on going, and you keep running, and you keep leaning and exploding through the finish line. It's not till you get to the finish line to where you look back and see what's what. So until we get to that finish line, and that finish line is really that great judgment day. So we're going to keep pressing forward, and even if we have a blessing, we're still going to keep pressing forward, because we know that blessing is here, but at the same time we got that blessing. That blessing is just that, it's a blessing in that time. We're blessed in that season. We're blessed in that time frame. But after that, if we keep trying to hold on to that, keep holding on to that point, what happens when the next altercation comes? What happens when the next storm comes? We got to keep moving forward. So yeah, we got to keep moving forward and not plot on our other people's. Not reminisce on when people try to have our demise, but we cannot also feast on other people's demise. What else you got?
Nothing right now.